check it out, check it out, check it out. I said rap it to the beat.
Sheet today. Phil Stans, John Paskin here. Phil, first you, it's been a terrific time for you here at Bury, Wembley to finish with.
Yeah, you know, we've got a good job to do today. It's not all over. We're really pleased we've got to Wembley. Well, there's a lot at stake on this game, so we've got to go out there and do the business.
What's your memories of Wembley in the past?
Watching Bolton Wanderers, really. I shouldn't say that being a Bury player, but I've only been here a couple of times watching. We had a walk around yesterday with the team, get a feel of the place. But to play here, it's a dream.
Is this the first time you're playing?
Yeah, that's right. It's the first time. Like I said, I've been a couple of times before, but to actually walk on the pitch is like a carpet. It's a great experience.
It's supposed to be starting to jangle then.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're up at 5 o'clock this morning because we were sharing the same room, but we're ready for it now. As soon as we kick off, we get underway and we kick off, I'm sure we'll be all ready.
Big day for Bury Football Club, and the preparation's gone really well this week, and everybody's just looking forward to it.
You had a great win against Preston and a great end of season, 13 matches unbeaten. It's the perfect filler.
That's right, yeah, we haven't lost the last 13 games, and obviously as well Chesterfield, we beat them at home and drew against them there, so they've not beaten us up to now, so I mean we couldn't ask for better preparation.
So there's nothing you fear Chesterfield?
No, not. We don't fear anybody because we're a good side in the league, and we'll just go out and do the job today.
What about yourself? What's your personal experience of Wembley?
Oh, for me, this is actually a dream come true. This because as being a South African, and watching all the cup finals in South Africa, and just looking at the place was brilliant. And I said to myself, I would love to play there one day, and it's a dream come true for me.
Stuart, it's an amazing turnaround that you're actually playing in this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought this at the start of the season, especially being with Chesterfield as well.
You were on loan from Northampton?
That's right, yeah.
How did it come about that you're playing in this game?
It was very unfortunate for Andy Beasley, really. He fractured his cheekbone in 3 places in the last game, and it's his loss, and I feel very sorry for Andy, but I've just got to get on with the job now.
How's the nerve ends going at the minute? It must be rapidly getting higher.
Not too bad at the moment. I think more nervous waiting to find out whether I was playing or not. Now I know I'm playing, I can get my mind on the job and get on with that.
Have you been to Wembley before?
Yeah, about 10 years ago with Wigan when they beat Brentford.
In the Freight Rover Trophy?
That's right, yeah.
Successful that day, weren't you?
Yeah, we won that game. Just hope we can repeat it today.
Time of day, being the icing on the cake for yourself personally, where you could achieve success?
Yeah, I mean, coming to Wembley, I mean, it's a great day for for the town, for the players. I think not forgetting the chairman who's put a lot into the club, commercial manager, Mr. Eves and the gaffer. I think it's a great day out for the town and Bury Football Club.
I'm right to say that you won't be involved in today's game?
No, unfortunately I won't be involved, but you know there's players out there who can do the job, so
it gives you a chance to sit back and look at the match. How do you see it going?
No, well I'll be kicking every ball because that's just me. We're pretty confident. We know a lot about the Chesterfield team, but we're going to concentrate on playing our own game. We're not going to worry about them. We're going to concentrate on playing our own game.
Where do you think the match will be won and lost?
I think the match will be won from the start. I think on this we've got the players in Tony Rigby and Nicky Dawes who are good passers of the ball, who can open up the defences, and I think in them players the match will be won in the midfield, I think.
Is it fair to say that since Phil Stan's arrived, it's turned the season back round full circle again?
No, he's had a phenomenal season. He's done what was expected of him. He's come in and he scored goals. I mean, after Mark Carr got his injury, it was important for the club to find a goal scorer, and respect to the gaffer, he went out and he got Phil Stan and he's done the business.
What's your experience of Wembley?
Remember 8 years ago, played with Sheffield Wednesday, which was the centenary, which celebrated the 100 years of the Football League, and that was good memories. Actually, look forward to it.
Is the mood in the camp very confident of success?
Oh yeah, you've always got to be confident. You just have to go out there, give a good show and a good account of yourselves, and hopefully come away with the right results.
You must feel after finishing third that you have a right to promotion.
Well, looking back on it, yeah, you do think you have a right to promotion, but we know today it's a game which is one-off, which can go either way. We just want to make sure it goes our way.
You came through the playoffs ever so well against Mansfield. The first game was rather tough, the second game you were right them out in extra time.
Well, I wasn't involved in the first game, but having watching the game, the gaffer decided he'd try a different formation, playing with the two wide players, which to our benefit seemed to work.
Will you be changing your formation again for today's game?
I believe we'll just keep it the same.
Thank you very much. You had the greatest feeling that you could have this week when you were announced as the new manager for very next season.
Yeah, you know, great. We've had a good season. The team have played well. We've got a good squad of players. They've all played their part, and today's the icing on the cake.
A personal note, it could well be a masterstroke for the team if you've been appointed the manager for next season.
Well, I don't want to make too big an issue over that. I'm just pleased for everybody who's coming down watching us today. We're going to have a great day out. The team's going to play well, and I hopefully will win.
What's your memories of Wembley Stadium in the past?
Well, I've only been watching. I've been to a few cup finals. I've been watching England play here a couple of times, but to actually lead a team out, it's a great honour for me, and I think it's a great day for the club.
Third time lucky?
Well, it would be nice to think that we're going to come and win today.
No, the situation yourself. It's been a great season for you. You've had 13 games unbeaten, then the playoff win. It couldn't be going better, could it?
No, we've had a good build-up to the end of the season. The team's played well. The supporters have responded in numbers. They're going to be over 10,000 of them here today. And I think that's great. It's great for the town, it's great for the players because it'll be a good atmosphere, and we're going to be playing at Wembley.
Two key issues on the team front, one who you will play instead of Tony Kelly, and one who will play up front with Phil Stant. Have you decided them?
Yeah, Jimmy Mulligan will play. He's the natural one to come in, as he played most of the season there early on. And John Paskin and Ian Hughes will be on the bench. It means that there's a couple of players disappointed. I hope they understand it, but it is a squad game.
Mark Carter, the partner with...
Mark will start the game, yeah, with Phil Stan.
That's two phenomenal scoring partners there together up front.
Well, they've both scored a lot of goals between them. I'm hoping that we can hit the net again today on a couple of occasions, and the lads at the back keep it tight.
Thank you very much. The Chesterfield manager John Duncan, rather loud inside Wembley Stadium. What's your thoughts on today's game?
Well, great atmosphere, a lot of supporters, both teams here. Hope it's a good game, I'm sure it will be. Pitch is immaculate, we're just looking forward to getting out there.
Wembley's uniqueness will make it rather difficult for the two teams. Will the tactics be important?
Well, there's so many unknown factors, isn't it? Because none of the two teams has come in and played on a pitch like this. The atmosphere like this is different for everybody. So really it's wait and see what happens.
It's a rather severe way to end a season when 42 games come down to 90 minutes to decide whether you'll be a winner or a loser.
Well, I think both teams are winners, to be honest. We've both had great seasons. It's fitting that we're here. It's probably not fitting that one of us has got to lose, but it's a great occasion and it's part of football to be in this situation.
Bury come in as slight favourites. Will that help you to be underdogs?
Don't think there's any advantage anyway for any team because it's so new for everybody.
Did you have any major decisions to make on the team front?
Yeah, I did. I mean, to be honest, it's one of these situations you want to pick everybody, but job's got to be done, and we had one or two fitness situations we had to look at before we made selection, and really that's decided the selection, and we're happy with the way we're going to do it.
Finally, a word about yourself. What's your previous experience at Wembley Stadium?
Well, I was in a Scottish squad for a England-Scotland match once. I didn't get in the bench and didn't play, and so I watched it from the stand. Other than that, it's just been watching matches.
It's a very unique stadium, isn't it? It's got its own atmosphere.
It has. I mean, it's a big stadium, and yet there's the close atmosphere of it, where the crowd is a distance away, but it feels quite close on top of you. So it'll be great.
Good luck this afternoon. Thank you, John Duncan.
Thank you.
Gary Kelly, Mark Carter here. Mark, I've just heard the word that you'll be on midfield stand today.
Yeah, I'm starting the game, yeah. Whether I come off at half-time again, which we did in the semi-final against Preston, remains to be seen, but I'm starting, yeah.
How is your fitness?
All right. Obviously I haven't played that much over the last few months, so I'll just have to see how we go in the first half.
Phil Stan's had a tremendous season. You started this season in tremendous fashion. It makes for a perfect partnership up front.
Well, on paper, but sometimes it doesn't work like that, so hopefully today it'll go well for us, yeah.
What about Wembley? Do you have any previous experience in the stadium?
I played here twice before, in 2 FA Trophy finals in non-league days. Once for Runcorn and once for Bangor, so as I say, yeah, I played here twice before.
So you're an old pro at this situation?
Well, I don't know, it's a different kind of thing, this, isn't it? I know it's like, I know it's the playoffs and it's a one-off game, but there's a lot more at stake here than there was in the FA Trophy final.
Is there anything that you fear about Chesterfield or think that they can achieve that you can't?
Not really, no. I think if we play to our potential today, we'll beat them. I don't see any threat from them at all, really, and I think we'll win.
The run of Bury's of late has been tremendous. 13 unbeaten in the league, 4 in the playoffs, and then the win against Preston.
Yeah, you know, I think if you look at it, we're the form side in the division at the moment, unbeaten in 13. We've beaten Preston home and away in the playoffs, so you know we are the form side at the moment, and if we continue that, I think we'll win today.
The bookies do make you favourites. Does that add any more pressure to it?
I think Chesterfield are favourites actually. I was in the bookies this morning, and Chesterfield, yeah, that's unusual for me, but Chesterfield are slight favourites. But I don't think that comes into it. You know, I think it's all on the day. And as you say, I think we're the form side at the moment, and if we play to our potential today, we should win.
Gary, turning to you, it's been a totally different season from the one last. We had all those injury problems. This season, everything's gone right.
That's right. So obviously the injury last season was a big blow, and I'm very fortunate to be back in football. So I set out to make the most of it and re-embark on my career, so to speak. And fortunately enough, it's all gone very well this season, culminating in the appearance at Wembley today.
You started off the season so well that it looked as if it would be yourselves and not Carlisle who would run away with this league.
That's right, but that's the way things go in football. Over 42 games, the best side deserves to go up, and obviously there's going to be a few changes. But we thought we were good enough to go up, and I think we were a bit unlucky. But we're at Wembley today. We've got another chance, so hopefully we'll come and take it.
Were you very disappointed that you didn't achieve automatic promotion in the end?
Certainly we were, yeah. As I said, we're a form side over the last 13 games, but Walsall kept winning, Chesterfield kept winning, and you know, all we could do was win our games and try and catch them up, but it wasn't to be.
When you look back at it, it was a Walsall keeper that kept you out of that automatic spot and gives them the chance to sit back and watch in comfort of promotion instead of yourselves.
That's right, but you can't argue for that. That's football for you. You know, you go out, the keeper has a good game, he has a good game. You try and put the ball in the back of the net. If it doesn't go in, then you can only but try your best.
What about Wembley itself? It's a very special stadium and atmosphere.
Oh, it certainly is, and it's great for the lads to come here. I mean, there's a few of us, I think there's 3 or 4 of us played here before, so we knew what it was about. But obviously to come here in a promotion battle and be fantastic to win today, especially in front of the mecca of football, so to speak.
44 games for Bury and Chesterfield have now come down to this. 90 minutes plus extra time and penalties if needed to decide who can be the final team to progress to Division 2. The league analysis shows 1 point separating the sides after the league programme. Both teams have 23 wins, but Bury outscored United by 11 goals. Only promoted Walsall and playoff losers Mansfield scored more goals in the third division this season. The Shakers then, as far as the bookies are concerned, are slight favourites. However, Chesterfield did finish third, and they will feel by rights that promotion should be theirs. Only time will tell who succeeds, but one thing can be taken for granted here this afternoon, and that's commitment to the cause. Today at the Twin Towers is not a time to be a loser. Both teams have been recepted by the fans in spectacular fashion. We anticipate a crowd of maybe between 20 and 30,000 for this game, with approximately 10 to 15,000 fans from Bury and the similar amount from Chesterfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem.
team news. Chesterfield have commercial manager Jim Brown on the bench. 7 years after retiring as a player, he's forced back into the squad due to injuries to their goalkeepers. Brown comes in as Chris Marples and Andy Beasley are both injured. Teenager striker though, Kevin Davis, the leading scorer this season, is struggling with a virus and he has to sit out on the bench. He might come on though, and he will be, of course, a threat from that position. The Chesterfield team, therefore, in goal is Burley Stewart, the experienced man on loan from Northampton. Then we have Jamie Hewitt and Lee Rogers at full-backs. Tom Curtis, Darren Carr and Nicky Law make up 4, 5 and 6, with Phil Robinson, Jonathan Howard, Tony Lormer, Andy Morris and Des Hazel making up the rest of the side. Morris and Lormer, a new partnership up front. The subs, Jim Brown, as I stated before, and Chris Perkins, and the 13-goal man this season, Kevin Davis. As for the Shakers, Bury will bring in James Mulligan in place of the suspended Tony Kelly. A difficult decision though on who's to partner stand was finished when Mark Carter was given over regular in recent weeks John Paskin. The vote there from Walsh to the experienced Mark Carter in the end. And the Bury side therefore is Gary Kelly in goal. The fullbacks are Andy Woodward and Roger Stanislaus in for Stuart Bimpson. Chris Licketti and Michael Jackson on a defensive partnership at the back. Then we have Nick Dawes in midfield, who can also play sweeper. Tony Rigby and Jimmy Mulligan will play also in midfield, with the forward lineup of Phil Stant, Mark Carter and David Pugh, all experienced centre forwards and wingmen. The subs for Bury this afternoon are Lee Bracey, who will play in that goalkeeping berth, whose chances of course have been limited due to Kelly's presence in the defence. With the subs also John Paskin and Ian Hughes. You cannot ask for 2 more experienced players or 3 more experienced players on the bench. The toss now taking place in the centre circle. Just to mention that the Ball Boys this afternoon are courtesy of Bury Schools FA and Chesterfield Schools FA. Great afternoon for them, and I'm sure they'll be lapping it up, whatever the score and finish. Well, Bury have not been outside the top 6 since the middle of May, while Chesterfield have never been outside the top 5 since the middle of January. You could not ask for a closer contest. 1 point separated them in the league. Today, 90 minutes will be the difference. Chesterfield are in the blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. They will be playing from right to left in the first half as you see the game. Bury in the white shirts, blue shorts, white socks will be playing from left to right. An early touch there for Gary Kelly, the Republic of Ireland beekeeper. Since that career-threatening injury last season, he has recorded 23 clean sheets. How he could love to have one here today. Phil Stand with the early touch. Not a bad ball in if Pugh can reach it at the back of the box, but Pugh falls, and that gives the opportunity to Des Hazel to bring the ball clear. Back by Bury, Stand chasing for the ball, but the big defender Nicky Law was there to clear. Bury come into this fixture with all the form on their side. While Chesterfield were losing their last 3 league games, Bury were doing ever so well with an unbeaten run of 30 matches, as here comes a long throw from Nick Dawes, and it's a massive one. Law has to reach high to get that one clear. Rigby, he is an influential player for Bury in the midfield sector. Back down now, first chance for Bury and the number 9, Phil Stand. But Stand couldn't receive the ball cleanly enough and has to be thankful for the throw. Another long throw will come from Nick Dawes, the £10,000 buy from Altrincham. Stand is the aim along with Pugh. Dawes with a second bite of the cherry. Carter is the man at the back post, and he gets the ball down and wins the first corner kick of the afternoon. Darren Carver conceding the set piece. Tony Rigby the man to come across to take the ball. Let's see what he can claim from this corner kick. 2 minutes gone on the clock, no goals as yet, but Bury starting off in the fashion that they will want to follow through the whole match. Superb tackle in the corner by Des Hazel. And unfortunate there for Jonathan Howard. He tried to keep the ball in play, but it just slipped out of his grasp and went into touch for the throw. Nick Dawes again with the long throw. This massive throw of his will cause problems for any defence. And it goes right into the centre of the penalty area. Good flick on from David Pugh. Carter in there as well, and the corner has to be conceded again by Dan Carr. This is the sort of start that Mike Walsh will have wanted from his team, and the Shakers have responded so far. In goes Rigby's corner kick again. Up goes the number 5, Dan Carr, and it will be 3 in a row now for the Shakers. Rigby going across to swing this one in from his left-hand side. How Bury would like an early strike, just to settle those nerves and stop them jangling. Rigby with an in-swinging corner kick. Billy Stewart, the former Wigan keeper, does well to keep this out. First touch there for Jimmy Mulligan. Mulligan, who's had an injury-plagued season, was prepared to Kevin Hume this afternoon due to the suspension of Tony Kelly. Kelly, of course, sent off in the second leg of the semi-final against Preston at Gig Lane. Michael Jackson goes all the way back to Gary Kelly. Lormer will follow. Stamp with the touch, no Pugh. Carter, who's played here twice before in FA Trophy finals, so he has the experience in the bag. Pugh trying to win another corner kick. Hewitt tries to stop him doing that and then gets the ball free to Curtis. Good ball up to Andy Morris, who's forming a new partnership this afternoon due to the virus of Kevin Davis, he having to go onto the bench, so he could be thrown into the action as the first yellow card is received by a Bury player. The foul, I think, was by Chris Lucchetti. In fact, it was Michael Jackson who has been booked. Minutes on the clock, and Michael Jackson into the referee's book already. Paul Alcock taking his yellow card out of his pocket for the foul. A long ball in, looking for Lormer. This time the header comes from a Bury player, and Jackson there redeeming himself inside the box. No Pugh. Long clearance upfield from him, and it's a testing ball for the Chesterfield defence, who have to concede the throw. Carter wants to play it quickly. Mark Carter, who has 15 goals this season to his credit and was prominent in the early part of the season till that injury took him out for many a month mid-season. Roger Stanislaus, who's in today for Stuart Bimson. Pugh can't reach, going a little too high over his head. Morris again. Wins the third this time off Lucchetti. Lee Rogers with the third, the longest current serving member of the Chesterfield squad. And he's missed only 3 games this season. A consistent performer, the man with the ball, Lee Rogers. Morris with the flick inside. On it goes by Phil Robinson, and Robinson with the first shot. It will come though down again for Chesterfield and Jonathan Howard. And not surprisingly, Tony Lormer leaves the ball to go out because it took a deflection off a Bury player, and therefore will give Chesterfield their first corner kick of the match. Bury had 3 early corners, Chesterfield with their first now after 7 minutes. The ball is aimed for Morris inside the area. The turn was by Lormer, and Tony Lormer with 10 goals to his credit already this season. If he could have connected a little bit better with that ball, could have had his number 11. Lormer, who joined in December on a free from Peterborough, has performed 23 times for Chesterfield and scored 10 goals. Not a bad receipt, that, and another goal here today wouldn't go down too badly for Chesterfield. Gary Kelly with the goal kick. Stanislaus with the touch on. Now Nick Dawes. Out it goes by Nicky Law. And Morris, who will be a threat to any defence, goes chasing after the ball. Gary Kelly has only conceded 36 goals this season. A tremendous record for any keeper, especially Kelly, who came back after that career-threatening injury from last season. Lucchetti with a header out, comes down to Phil Stand. Jimmy Mulligan appeals for offside against Carter, and you have to agree with the linesman on this near side. Carter just fraying offside. Jamie Hewitt, 3 goals this season to his credit, and how any of these 22 players would love to score a goal today in the Wembley playoff final of the 3rd Division. Well, Bury had the early part of the match with those 3 corners. Since then, in the last 4 minutes or so, it's been Chesterfield who have had the upper hand, and they have another free kick here to swing into the box. Carr was the man first aimed for, then Morris tried to come in at the back. Tom Curtis, square ball from him to Lee Rogers. Rogers muscled out there in the Bury half. Back it'll come from Nicky Law. Rigby, an intelligent header to Stant. Not the best of balls though from Stant. The 2 number 4s tussling for the ball. Stanislaus comes in to try and solve the problem. Andy Woodward, what a story he's had since his arrival in April. A free from Crewe. Certainly one for the future, but has established himself in that right back berth since his arrival. Yet to have scored for Bury. Another man similar to Lee Rogers, who has not scored for Chesterfield, who will love to get on the score sheet today. Dawes battling for the ball. Wins the throw off Phil Robinson that Roger Stanislaus will take. Stanislaus, who will love to attack down the left-hand flank, has lovely attacking skills on his day. Pugh with the flick on, no Carter. Dawes once more, and for a second there's a 2-on-1, but Dan Carr always has the upper hand. And Billy Stewart manages to clear the ball upfield. Hazel can't win the ball. Carter's pass wasn't the best as the play gets tightened up in midfield. Now here's another opportunity for Nick Dawes to show us one of those massive long throws of his. It signals the arrival of Chris Leketti inside the box and the shouts from the Bury fans. Here goes Dawes. Leketti was his aim. Morris was the defender who clears the first time and the second. Lormer is his aim upfield, and Lormer controls the ball ever so well with his chest, does well to win the throw. Phil Robinson. 4 goals for Phil Robinson in 5 appearances way back in December when he joined. Well, started his goal-scoring run, that is. He joined in 1992 from Huddersfield. 8 goals in all this term. Now we will see the long throw initiated by United. It looks for Lormer as well. Bury defenders have to be eager. And clearances need to be a little better than that from Mulligan. Lormer fighting for the ball in the box. Jackson clears, and that will be a second corner of the afternoon for Chesterfield. 12 minutes on the clock, no goals as yet. And I think that we've not really had a clear opportunity, though. Stant and Lormer both had shots that they could have turned on and if connected with could have easily scored, but they were difficult opportunities. Hazel is up, the ball goes across the head of Dan Carr. The eventual shot in from Curtis was always going over the top. Kelly with the clearance. Pugh trying to reach the ball. Rigby, whose positional play and tactics should suit this field. He will certainly revel in those open spaces. For once doesn't play a ball of quality. Tony Lormer, good control. Again, he's done well to keep hold of possession, but Pugh, round his ankles, gets it back for Berry. Quick kick from Gary Kelly. Stant is chasing, and he will continue to chase, though it's just run out of his grasp. It looked as if it came off his chest. But the referee, Mr. Paul Alcock, decides that it will be Berry's fourth corner of the afternoon. Now, Tony Kelly didn't have much success with the first three. Maybe this fourth one will show a different tactic from the Shakers' side. He's gone for Laketti again. It comes now for Mulligan, who decided to leave the ball and gets himself out of a tight spot with the clearance to the wing. Stant with the knockdown. Here he is now with possession into the path of Pugh. Pugh looking for the return ball, but it was a little too high. And Nigel Law always knew that it was going through safely to the keeper, Billy Stewart. 15 minutes on the clock, and neither of these two teams have yet struck any blood. But as we stated before kick-off time, commitment is not a problem this afternoon. Stanislaus a little over-eager there with his challenge. Back to Nicky Law. Chris Laketti watching the ball, then decides to clear for Stant. Carr battling for the ball with him. The ball breaks though for Carter. In fact, I think it was Mulligan who was appealing for the run from Stant, and still has a word or two to say to his fellow Berry player. Andy Woodward with the ball. Good ball in from Woodward. Pugh gets it down, but it just didn't fall for Carter or Stant. Back to Woodward now. Rigby, can he produce a little bit of magic outside of the foot pass? Wins another corner kick. It will be the fifth. Well, that is what we need to see by Tony Rigby. A little bit of difference on the edge of the area. That's what's claimed his spot in this side, in preference to players such like of Ronnie Murger and Kevin Hume. Rigby now with the fifth corner kick, swinging it in. Billy Stewart does ever so well inside his 6-yard area to get a punch on the ball. Carter chasing with Stewart again, but this time the former Chester, Wigan and even Liverpool player does well to keep hold of possession. It's interesting to note that Wigan's, or rather Berry's last defeat was away at Colchester by 1-0, not by Wigan, by Colchester in fact, by 1-0. 30 matches in the league since then, they have been unbeaten. We look at the peak time for Berry to score. They have a reputation for leaving it late. 11 times they've scored in the last 10 minutes. They have a winning sweep sequence of 5 games as well. As a record, as the shot comes in from Mark Carter, it's not going to trouble Billy Stewart from that distance. And a losing sequence of only 2 matches, and that was back in February. The peak time that Berry looked to concede a goal this season has been between the 41st minute and the 50th minute. 5 times they've conceded goals in that area, and when you look at Chesterfield, their peak time to score is the same area, and they have scored 7 times this season during that period. It's also interesting to note that the peak time that they've conceded goals is the time that is the peak time for Berry to score, 81 to 90 minutes. 6 times they've conceded goals in that remaining 10 minutes of a match this season, Chesterfield. Carter can't reach that one with his head. Dawes gets the ball forward again. Rigby outdone this time by Tom Curtis. Stanislaus with lots of room on the far left-hand side. For once he decides to run instead of play the ball in the box. Des Hazel had it read. Lormer with a chase. Jackson's there. And Michael Jackson does ever so well there in defence to get rid of the ball. Good flick on as well from Carter. Stantis pulled back, and this could be a second yellow card. Well, Michael Jackson, the number 6 for Bury, was booked on 5 minutes. Now on 90 minutes, it's his opposite number, Nicky Law, who's going into the referee's book. Yellow card for him. The Bury supporters willing their side on as the sunshine now sprays down on Wembley. Woodward with the ball in, looks for Pugh. I think he will let this one go for another corner. Bury have certainly dominated in that section of the field. Corner kicks, that is, so far in the game. 20 minutes on the clock, as yet no goals. But Bury with 6 corner kicks will start to feel that they are due something from them. And this is not a bad one from Rigby again. Stewart, for the 3rd or 4th time, has to punch the ball clear. Rigby tries to weave his magic once more. Lee Rogers now with room also on this near side. Great tackle from Jackson. Back to Rogers once more. Lormer can't reach it, Morris can. Lovely side foot back heel as Lormer tries to bulldoze his way through, and for a second he nearly succeeded. Kelly was the man to clear. But Carter and Stanter running themselves ragged up front in an attempt to win every ball that goes forward. Both those players belying their ages. Here's Carter again, wins another throw. Does Mark Carter, the 34-year-old. His 3rd appearance here at Wembley. Mulligan, intelligent ball out to Stanislaus. Carter was his aim again. But Stanislaus, after the clearance from Law, will get himself into the book as well. A very late tackle on Des Hasler, or Des Hazel rather, and that becomes the 2nd Bury player to go into the referee's notebook. Des Hazel again battling with Stanislaus, who clears this time for the throw. Well, as we predicted, there's nothing between these two teams as yet. We expected a tough, tight affair, and that's what we so far have got. Though the form of these two sides coming into the fixture could not be different. A major difference between the two teams as Morris goes for the ball, appears for handball, and it's in! Chesterfield have the lead, and it looks as if Tony Lormer has scored for United. Kelly looks across to the linesman. Lormer celebrates. That's his 11th of the season. Chesterfield, out of nothing, have scored. The long throw, something that Bury wanted to expose, has caught them out. And Chesterfield have the lead thanks to Tony Lormer. Lormer, who joined in December on a free from Peterborough. 10 from 23 before today. Now it's 11 from 24. A defensive mix-up by the Shakers, who were doing just that from the long throw. And Tony Lormer stuck in a foot and scored, and Phil Stan, for his arguing, has also gone into the referee's book. 23 minutes, and that's the 3rd Bury player to enter the referee's notebook. Only the 37th goal that Gary Kelly has conceded this season. How well he would have wanted a clean sheet here today of all days, but it's not to be. Chesterfield have the lead. and credit to them since do something like Lorna did for at least 15 minutes. It's up to Berry to now try and reproduce a similar throw here from this position. Nick Dawes with the ball in his hands. It's a long ball into the box. Lecchetti can't reach it. Morris back doing defending duties this time after he, I think it was, had the touch to give Lorna the chance inside the box at the other end. Carter tries to turn the defender and wins another corner kick. Amazingly, after just 25 minutes, Bury have had 7 now. Surely something will come of it. Tony Rigby, the fans' favourite, who scored that second leg winner against Preston, to swing the ball in. Lecchetti is the man to go for. Lecchetti nods the ball down for Carter. Robinson clears. Dawes with the ball back at his feet. No, Stanislaus. Touched on by Stant, out from the head of Dan Carr. Des Hazel pulled back, but the referee waves play on. Good play from Tony Rigby, intelligently took the ball away from Andy Morris. Now Andy Woodward driving through the centre of the Chesterfield defence. Stant with the touch, rather Pugh looking for Stant with the touch. Robinson comes away with success for the ball. Stanislaus knocking it forward again. It's end-to-end stuff. Pugh inside the area. Pugh is through. Nearly goes past the keeper, but Billy Stewart, his last appearance here at Wembley, was a 3-1 success with Wigan Athletic in the Freight River Trophy. Dives at his feet and keeps the ball away from him. Chesterfield's throw, Pugh having the last touch of the ball. Robinson knocking the ball down for Hewitt. Kelly will come there and collect. Robinson again with the touch on, but Bury had possession. Mulligan's touch will mean a goal kick for Stewart. Well, Chesterfield had scored 3 times before, between 20 and 30 minutes. They've now made it 4. 1-0 they lead here at Wembley in the Ensley League Division 3 playoff final. But there's still a lot of football to be played in this fixture. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Kelly now with the clearance. Surely a handball for Morris, and that could well earn him a booking. Mr. Alcock coming to have a word, and yes, Andy Morris goes into the referee's book. He is now the 4th player to be given the yellow card. Pugh couldn't knock the ball far enough inside. Back it goes from Dawes. This one for Carter to chase, and he wins the corner kick. Ever so much good work done there by Mark Carter. Dan Carr didn't think he got the set piece, and I think Mark Carter, he didn't really announce that he'd won the corner very well, but the referee quickly signalled it. Rigby with the swinging ball in. In it goes from Lecchetti. Stant tries to reach it. Robinson's there too, and Robinson gets a little nudge from Stant, and that means a free kick for Chesterfield. The Bury fans rather subdued. It's the Chesterfield supporters who are singing at the moment. Tony Lormer's goal on 24 minutes, giving them the lead. Great touch from Morris. He came across the ball ever so well then to knock it on. 6'5" tall is Andy Morris. 7 goals this season, though he has not been a regular. In today due to the substitute spot for Kevin Davis, who's had a virus this week. Nick Dawes can't reach the ball. It's instead won by his opposite number, Curtis. No, Hazel. On by Law. Robinson now in the centre field position. The battling was done by Pugh. Hewitt. Good flick on into Morris's touch and path, and another ball there for Morris to chase as well. Should win a corner, and it does. Third now for Chesterfield. Half an hour on the clock. Chesterfield leading by Tony Lormer's goal. Here goes the corner. Kelly out to collect. Carr, it was too far for him in the air, but not too far for Kelly to reach. Rogers there with the clever back header. You expect that of the longest current serving player in the Chesterfield squad. He's Mr. Consistency at left back. Jonathan Howard tries to take the ball in field, muscled out by Woodward. The goal scorer Lormer working it back to Curtis now. Law trying to spread play to Hazel. Unfortunately, his touch with his head didn't go into his path, but into touch. Well, Ronnie Morget predicted before the game that Bury would win by 2-0. That prediction now going by the waistline. Chesterfield with the lead here by 1-0. 13 minutes to go before the end of the first half here at Wembley. And both these two sides, after a cagey opening, have committed themselves to the cause, but it's been Chesterfield who have the goal that separates them so far. Tony Lormer with his 11th of the season. Stanislaus now with this free kick. Bury could well do with equalising before half-time. A long ball in, looks for Leketti once more. He has been the aim throughout the first half. Rigby. Good ball there through by Jackson, back in the feet of Rigby. If ever a man could win a game, it is he. His dazzling skills are renowned. Stant now into the near post, touched over by Stewart, and a corner kick will result. Phil Stant there. Let's hope that knee that he's clinging to isn't too hurt as he lies behind the goal line. But a great back header from the byline nearly produced an equaliser. In goes the corner kick from Rigby, point blank header from Leketi, and Leketi with a second sees the ball tip wide. A golden opportunity for Bury. Rigby finally gets a corner through the Chesterfield defence, and Chris Leketi for once was unmarked. That should have been 1-1. Rigby again now with the 10th corner of the half. Down it goes from Stant, back in comes the header. Rigby holds his hands on his head. He had a little bit more time than he suspected there. In fact, it was Michael Jackson going forward, nearly producing the equaliser. But seconds before it, Chris Leketi had the golden opportunity to get Bury back on level terms. A point-blank header, free from 6 yards. Stewart once more the winner. He's having a remarkable return to Wembley, a fairy tale story for him when you consider that he arrived on loan from Northampton. And I'm sure he would never have expected to play in this fixture. But injuries to the two normal Chesterfield keepers have turned that round, as Chesterfield win a free kick there against David Pugh. Pugh having a few words to say about it as well. Marples and Beardsley, the two players who have missed out for Chesterfield due to injuries. Billy Stewart, a man who has been with Liverpool, Wigan and Chester, played at Wembley once before with Wigan. He's having a remarkable afternoon. Woodward gets the ball clear. Back in again it goes from Hewitt, but the linesman's flag is up for offside. Going back to that Leketi chance, I don't think you could have asked anything more of him. He hit the target with the header. It was just unfortunate. He also hit the goalkeeper, who was stood right in its path. 9 minutes to go till the half-time interval. Bury trailing by a 0-0. Chesterfield with the lead on 24 minutes, thanks to Tony Lorimer's 11th of the season. Morris underneath the high clearance from Kelly. Howard and Leketi challenge for the ball, and it will result in a free kick for Bury. Kelly now clearing upfield. Stant looking to get on the end of Carter's touch. And there you can appreciate the eagerness of these two forwards to work together. Lovely deft touch from Carter. Stant inside the area, just couldn't reach it. Morris up in the air. He too is an unfortunate victim there of that high ball. Robinson out to the wing. And Rogers drives the ball in. Hazel though is offside on the far flank. Chesterfield have had a rough ride during the end of season. The last 3 league games they played before the playoffs, at home to Mansfield and away at Scarborough and Rochdale, were all lost. And before that rocky finish, they just had 1 defeat in 10, and that was at Gig Lane. So form-wise, or on paper should we say, it would seem that Bury should have the upper hand, but as always in a match like this, a cup final so to speak, form goes out of the window. And give credit to Chesterfield, they also fought their way through against Mansfield. And that after extra time. Stant works the ball back to the wing and Stanislaus. His ball is blocked by Hazel, and this must surely mean another long throw from Nick Dawes. Or a change in ploy it seems. Rigby this time after the short throw from Stanislaus. Good ball in from Rigby. Carter's free. Touches the ball on, but it's too high, and it will result in a goal kick. And Mark Carter there seems to have picked up some sort of knock. He's down on the ground and will need some attention from the Bury physio. Stewart goes to have words with his left back, Lee Rogers. Obviously not happy about something that happened a few moments ago. But so far, it's all right on the night for Chesterfield. They lead by 1-0. And everything for John Duncan at the moment is going as to plan. Duncan in his second spell at Saltergate after re-arriving in February 1993. The 46-year-old Scot was confident before the game, and so far that confidence has been shown by his team. Robinson into the path of Hazel. Hazel pushed wide by Stanislaus, who decides to dive in and concede the throw. Hazel again. And once more, a stern challenge from Stanislaus. Stanislaus, one of the 4 players so far to have been booked. In fact, I think it's 5 now. 3 in the Bury ranks, 2 in the Chesterfield side. Law with the long throw. It was from one of these that the first goal came, and here is the second now from Chesterfield. Phil Robinson goes in to score his 9th of the season, and Bury once more exposed from the long ball. 41 minutes on the clock, and Chesterfield doubled their lead. But where was the Bury defence? For the second time, they have been exposed by Nicky Law. And this the turn of Phil Robinson to collect his 9th goal. And what a time to score. Just 3 minutes before the end of the half. Once more, the long throw causing so many problems in the Bury defence. The defenders not picking up the ball, instead they picked up the men. It proved their downfall. Pugh rocks the ball out to the wing. Bury need an instant reply, an instant win. Rigby trying to tee himself up. The goal scorer Robinson was the man there to clear. As Bury go down the blind side and win the 11th corner now of the half. Rigby will take the corner kick. Bury need a reply, they need it now. It's time to be stood up and be counted. Jackson didn't get the best of headers in. It will fall though for Dawes. Unfortunately, he can't hit the target, and the chance is lost. Well, football is always a game of 2 halves, but at this moment in time, the imponderables are with Bury, and they now must look deep into their souls if they are to get back into this fixture. They need a humongous amount of effort, and no mean luck as well if they're to respond to this from Chesterfield. In goes the challenge there from Nick Dawes. Surprisingly, the free kick doesn't come for the foul, it seemed, on Jonathan Howard. Carter with the knockdown to Mulligan. A minute and a half left for Bury to get themselves back into the fixture. They need a reply. This cup final of theirs is turning sour. Woodward with the ball in, but there's Billy Stewart, who's been a rock in the Chesterfield defence. Take nothing away from him. He's produced 2 or 3 excellent saves to stop Bury getting on the score sheet. Well, we were talking before about peak times to score, and Chesterfield have scored 7 times this season between the 41-minute mark and the 50-minute mark. That now becomes their 8th. And really, Bury should have been aware, if it was not just for the fact that they had a long throw from a position that they'd scored the first goal from. The captain, Nicky Law, will try and reproduce the events of the first two. Here goes the long ball in again. Morris is once more the aim, and for the first time, Leketi gets in front. Clever play from Lee Rogers. It could spark another counter-attack from United. Rogers with room once more, goes for the opportunist shot, but was never really on. Carr with the clearance upfield. Stanislaus heads the ball back into the centre circle. But whatever Mike Walsh says during the half-time interval, it better be good, because his side trailed 2-0 with 45 minutes left to change their fate and the division that they will play next season. So far the playoff dream has gone sour for the Shakers. It's up to Walsh to turn it round. Morris. We are now 30 seconds into injury time. Nicky Dawes down on the floor. Another bad sign for Berwick. Hazel looks to work the ball through for Howard. Chesterfield happy to play out the final seconds of the half in that midfield sector. There cannot be long left now on the referee's watch as Bury try and get themselves through, but the offside flag will rescue the side from Saltergate this time. Bury 0, Chesterfield 2, Lormer and Robinson the goal scorers. Lormer on 24 minutes, Robinson on 41, both from long throws. And I'm sure Bury will not be needed to be reminded of that fact. Rigby heads the ball forward. Carter with the flick on. All the way back it comes from Dan Carr. Well, Chesterfield must now feel that if they can keep their heads for the remaining minutes of the match, 45 of them in the second half as the half-time whistle goes now, they will be in the second division next season. The story of the half though, 11 corners of Bury to 3 of Chesterfield's, but 2 long throws that did just as good a job as any set piece, unlocked the Bury defence twice. First time on 24 when Tony Lormer, after a defensive mix-up, put the ball through to score past Kelly. Only the 37th goal he's conceded this season. Lormer's 11th of the term. And then just to infuriate Bury even more, 4 minutes from the break, peak time for Chesterfield. They scored their second. Phil Robinson with a carbon copy goal, except this time instead of him using his foot, he went in with his head to score free past Kelly and make it 2-0 from another long throw from Nicky Law. As for the Shakers, they've had their moments. Pugh was stopped to the feet of Stewart. Stan had a back header tipped over by the replacement keeper, and even saw Leketi stop him at point blank when a corner kick from Rigby, the number 11 in fact, was stopped on the line by the former Wigan and Chesterfield keeper. He's had an excellent afternoon so far. Served Chesterfield, they lead by 2-0. Welcome back to Wembley for the second 45-minute period of the Ensley League third division playoff final. Bury already on the field, they're 2-0 down, and I'm sure the words of Mike Walsh will be ringing in their ears. They need to play a lot better than that, and they've got to change their fortunes around. Chesterfield, I'm sure John Duncan will have said to his team rather, just carry on playing as you are and just keep those fingers crossed. History is with them and not Bury, as no side in the playoff final has come back from 2-0 down in the third division, or as it was the fourth division playoff final here at Wembley. The last season we did have 6 goals when Wycombe defeated Preston by 4-2. If you're a Bury supporter, you will be hoping for a similar feat from your side, as they do now make a substitution, and it is Mark Carter who leaves the field. The 15-goal man this season is off, and John Paskin is on. Initial reaction from Mike Walsh. He needs to have instincts now of gold. If his side are to retrieve a 2-0 deficit, Chesterfield have the upper hand. And at least one hand on the second division place that will be coming to one of these two teams. Stant with the ball from the kickoff. He was a Philip up to the end of the normal season. He needs to be a Philip now for his side. £65,000 he cost from Cardiff. Has had a gold spurt, rather, let's get our words correct, since securing this Wembley date. And has been the paramount reason that Bury have had a 30-match unbeaten run. Robinson, one of the two goal scorers, gets it through to Hazel. Hazel dazzles round Stanislaus, then threads the ball through to Tony Lormer, another man who has scored here today, but he was offside and his shot in the end was well wide. So as I stated before, history not with Bury. No side in the third or fourth division as it was have come back from a 2-0 deficit in a playoff final. Maybe Bury could change history today. If you're a Chesterfield supporter, that is something that you will not want. Bury have a free kick. They need immediate, instant success. Andy Woodward with the ball. Those supporters who have come from Lancashire need some reward to cheer their team on with. Pugh inside the box, the header from McKetty again. Once more, it's Chris McKetty who so nearly strikes gold, but instead only can strike the man who's been excellent in between the posts for Chesterfield this afternoon, Billy Stewart. Stanislaus wins the ball in the defensive sector. Paskin with the touch on, a little too far this time for Phil Stant to reach. John Paskin, South African-born striker who arrived from a free transfer from Wrexham, a half-time substitute for Mark Carter. Paskin with 13 goals this season. Let's hope he can break that unlucky number in this second 45 minutes. Time will tell whether he will or he won't. But the Stant-Paskin partnership has been the one that has brought Bury through to this final in the last few months. Pugh knocks the ball on for John Paskin. He was thrilled to be playing at Wembley today. Talking before the game, or maybe he should have played that one through there for Paskin. Stanislaus on into the path of Stant. Chances here for the Shakers. Stant goes side netting. For a second, the supporters to the far side thought he had scored. But Stant this time, instead of being stopped by 1S Billy Stewart, is stopped by another, the side netting. But it's a bright start to the second half for Mike Walsh's side. We have nothing now left to lose. It might as well be 4-5 than 2. And I'm sure as the half progresses you will see more and more men thrown forward in an attempt to change the scoreline that currently exists. Free kick for Bury. As with the first half, they've had the better of the start of the second. The opening minutes have belonged to them. Paskin up again. Carr with the header clear. Robinson tries to get the ball through for Lormer, his fellow goal scorer here at Wembley today. Paskin Again tries to flick the ball on. Law this time doing the defensive duties. Woodward's caught in possession. Tony Lormer gets the ball through for Hazel. Hazel now inside the area, squares the ball to Morris. This could be dead and buried for Berry, but he's squared it wide. And Andy Morris with a gilt-head opportunity to make it 3 and send Berry into another season in the 3rd division for certain. Could that be a turning point for Berry? Andy Morris free from 10 yards, shoots wide. But it's Chesterfield who still have the lead. And the history, as well as I'm sure they will feel the right to be in Division 2 next season after finishing 3rd in the league. Carr with the long ball forward looking for the 6'5" Andy Morris. Robinson diving round the heels, so does Rigby in an attempt to win the ball. Mulligan, a clever pass, lobbing the ball over the top for Paskin to chase. He has support as well from Woodward. Paskin intelligently holds the ball up, waits for the support to come, and it does in the form of Rigby. Now Nicky Dawes. Rigby with a second chance, goes for the square ball. Stanislaus has moved well on the left-hand flank and now receives the ball, needs a quality cross. Carr though intercepts it. Nick Dawes again. Great ball in, Law heads it out. Rigby, edge of the area, goes for the shot, but it's wide and will not test Billy Stewart, at least this time. So far, the side with the form is being beaten by the team that, according to my bookmakers, were slight favourites for this match. Not according to Mark Carter, though. He rated Chesterfield as better money. And it is they that lead by 2-0. We expected a close contest. Goals by Lormer and Robinson have so far changed that, but Bury, if they could sneak one, would be back into this contest, as there's still a lot of football left to be played. And they have another free kick for the foul on Mulligan. They have one substitute on, Paskin. He's replaced Mark Carter during the half-time interval, and Ian Hughes is the other man on the bench, the Welsh under-21 international, who has a reputation for scoring extraordinary goals, superb long-range ones. Is the other man on the bench. Paskin is the aim for this free kick. Carr was the man to head clear, back in by Stanislaus. Stant is the man to do the donkey work, when really he should be the one on the end of balls such as that into the 6-yard box. Morris with a header on for Lormer. Hazel would need sprinting legs like Linford Christie's there to keep that one in play. David Pugh touches the ball for Stan to chase. Nicky Law, another experienced pro at the back. The club captain, who's had 7 teams and is aged 33, has 1 goal as well this season, that against Gillingham. And he's also won, I think now, 6 players to be booked. He and Andy Morris have gone into the referee's notebook for Chesterfield. 2 bookings and 2 goals. Stantner with the ball in the area. In goes Mulligan with a superb header out. Or was it? The referee decides instead that Mulligan was the man to make the last connection. It looked for a second as if the left back there, Lee Rogers, had done miracles to keep away Mulligan from the ball. But in fact it was Mulligan who had the touch on the far side and it went wide. Looking at the action replay, Mulligan, yes, the man to have connected with the ball. But credit to Lee Rogers, the experienced, consistent left back. He did enough to put off James Mulligan, who of course is playing today due to the suspension of Tony Kelly. Kelly sent off in the semi-final second leg against Preston at Gig Lane. Carr hoofing the ball up in the air. Rigby has room now to bring it down. For knocking it on for Paskin, Stant will chase him for a second. It looked maybe as if he would have an opportunity on goal, but the ball skidded a little too quickly off the surface. 10 minutes into the second half, Bury still trailing by 2-0. Chesterfield well worthy of their lead, and they have another long third to be able to test the Bury defence with. Remember, it was the 2 long throws that caused all the problems for the Shakers' defence and brought about the 2 goals. Lorimer goes down under the challenge inside the box, but it was never a penalty, more a slip there as he had the ball underneath his feet. Added urgency now about Bury as they quickly get rid of the ball when in possession. Tony Rigby knows that time is against them. They need instant reward, and so far it has not been provided. Paskin wins the throw. Stanislaus now to Nick Dawes. On into the area it goes, looking for Mulligan. Law, the experienced club captain, clears, back in by Woodward. And the header there, and the challenge was a little too sufficient by the Bury player, who's down on the ground along with his Chesterfield counterpart. Signals the arrival of the 2 physios. Let's hope it's nothing serious. Chesterfield's last appearance in the playoff finals back in 1990. And as I stated before, they were beaten 1-0 in the Division 4 playoff final against Cambridge in front of 26,000. So far they are putting that defeat behind them. And as I stated before, history is with them. No side in the 4th Division playoff or the 3rd Division playoff final has ever come back from 2-0 down here at Wembley. Mulligan knocking the ball for Stant. It falls encouragingly into the path of Paskin, but with options either side, especially the one coming from Phil Stant, who shows his anger at the ball not being played to him. He decided to go for the lob instead of the pass. But you can't blame Paskin. It's the time now to take risks and go for goal. They need some sort of strike, some sort of luck, some sort of finish that will get them some reward. Rigby heads the ball down for Woodward. Lormer, the man who got the first strike, toe poking in that long throw from Nicky Law, wins the throwing after putting pressure on Michael Jackson. Jackson, one of 3 Bury players so far to be booked Stanislaus and Stant the other two. Tom Curtis to line up another long ball in. You can bet your bottom dollar that it'd be Andy Morris they'll aim for. Mulligan doesn't do well as he tries to tidy things up inside the area, and again the ball bouncing round the penalty box. Final clearance, I think, was by Tony Rigby. Robinson down for Hazel. Morris with a header down into the path of Hewitt. "15 minutes inside the second half. Half an hour left for Bury to change the course of this fixture. Will there be a twist and a turn in this tale? Or will Chesterfield, who've had the better of the first half, continue the trend? Well, not surprisingly, Mike Walsh is going out to change the fortunes of this fixture rather than let the match carry out its course. Ian Hughes has now been brought in to replace Jimmy Mulligan, the number 7 for Bury. Hughes looking to go into a central position, and that will mean that Tony Rigby will push out on the far right. Half an hour left, and that brings into action the sub, Ian Hughes. Now Nick Dawes with a long throw. Can Bury supply something from this? Stant is up for it. It doesn't reach him. Robinson should clear. Jackson heads the ball forward again. Pugh there does well to square the ball to Dawes. First touch for Ian Hughes. Chris Laketti. That's an awful ball forward, and it gives possession back to Chesterfield. Lormer. But they played themselves into trouble, have Chesterfield, and I'm sure Jamie Hewitt will not thank Lormer there for that. Ball out to him as all bodies fly in, and the outcome is David Pugh having the ball, and also a free kick. Down Carr didn't hold back at all then as he dived in for the ball with a two-footed challenge, but gives Bury this free kick. Andy Woodward has been with the Shakers since April. Will knock the ball into the area. Seemed like there was a push from Stan. The referee lets play continue. And Michael Jackson with an important challenge then, as there were very few Bury players left behind the ball. Robinson up to Lawmore. Again the bodies go flying as both teams battle for the ball. Stant can't bring the ball down. Law's pass will put pressure under Billy Stewart, who slices his clearance into touch, and I'm sure that clearance will result in another long throw in by Nick Dawes. If Bury could just get one, it would at least add pressure and hope onto their team, and maybe give them that belief that today is still to be their day. So far it has not been, and the man there who just lost the ball, Phil Stant, has just proved and pointed out how things have gone for them so far. Hughes heads it to Howard, who's been a more quiet performer in this second 45 minutes, which we have had nearly 20 minutes of. But his side still lead by those two first half goals from Lawmore and Robinson, both from long throws. Robinson works the ball back. Laketti hoofing it forward again. Can only find touch. Stanislaus. Pugh moves into space. Stand brings the ball down cleanly and then wastes it by laying the ball straight into the path of Howard. Fortunately, his pass was of a similar one to the one by Stand. At least in quality, that is. Laketti, who's had 3 good-headed opportunities that Stewart has denied him with in the first and second half so far. Woodward trying to go round his man, finally gets the ball out to the wing. Hughes seems to hit Robinson rather late. The referee now goes to look at Robinson but allows play still to continue. Hazel. And Hazel again. Morris to chase. Laketti is under pressure. Morris trying to bulldozer his way through. Laketti keeps his feet and his head there to clear the ball. Stanislaus looks for Paskin, appeals for a push in the back by John Paskin, not given by Mr. Alcott. Here's Morris now for Chesterfield. Hazel knocking it into space, and Hughes does well to intercept. Kelly with another long clearance for Stand. And this time there is a free kick for Bury for leaning on by Chesterfield's club captain Nicky Law, and he will have to watch himself as he's already been booked. Well, halfway through the second 45 minutes here of the second half of this Division 3 playoff final, and the lead is still with Chesterfield by 2-0. But maybe here, Tony Rigby could spark a revival. Oh, he's hit the post. Tony Rigby within inches of doing just that. Struck the ball cleanly, curled it round the wall, but was denied by the whitewash. For once, Billy Stewart was beaten, but the post came to his rescue, and it looks as if it's going to be his afternoon. 66 minutes gone, and the lead could have been at least halved, but for the post. Nick Dawes. Still Bury have the opportunity. Good clearance though from the 2 defenders, Robinson and Nicky Law. And the ball eventually goes out for a Chesterfield throw. Well, you cannot say that Bury haven't had the opportunities, but so far the luck is not running their way. Laketti with that free header after the second goal looked certain to score, but the header went straight into the chest and hands of Stewart. And this time the woodwork denying Tony Rigby when it seemed as if he had beaten Stewart. The header from 5 yards out for Phil Robinson rather. Dawes with another long throw, the penalty area once more packed. Dawes, second bite of the cherry, goes this time for the back post. And anywhere will do as far as Howard was concerned. Rigby. Straight into the big frame of Andy Morris. Curtis steps inside doors. Now Hazel tries to go back to move forward. And the ploy works very well. Hewitt looks for Morris. Morris gets in the header, but it's going wide of goal as he could not put enough headed power behind it or connection with that huge forehead of his. And I can't think of one serious save that Gary Kelly has had to make. The two most serious things he's had to do is pick the ball out of the net. Paskin now though, could he go through? Pulled back maybe on Law, appeals for the free kick. It looked to be 6-1 and half a dozen of the other. "20 minutes left. Time running out for Bury. They have played their last hand by the inclusion of Ian Hughes for Jimmy Mulligan. It is now up to the 11 players on that field to do the job. And it's a humongous task ahead of them if they are to resurrect the second division chance for the Shakers. Chesterfield as yet have not made a substitution, and they've not needed to because they have played solidly, worked the ball well out to the wings, and have scored two clever goals from long balls in from Nicky Law that have caught the Bury fans napping. Lawmore leaves the ball, and there's Morris, who could have well wrapped the game up when he had a chance from 10 yards out, but shot wide. Second bite of the cherry for Chesterfield, but the offside flag is raised against Lawmore this time. Des Hazel, the man brought in after appearing on the bench in the first leg of the semi-final against Mansfield, played all of the second leg and was rightly retained for the final. Works the ball only out of play for a thing that looked to have been Berry's, but in fact took a deflection off John Paskin. Now the throwing is for the Shakers. Rigby quickly knocking the ball on, looking for Stant. Appeals for holding. In goes the shot from Paskin. Stant again looks round. But the result is nothing more than a throw. Lawmore gets the ball on to Morris. And Robinson is the first to react. The two goal scorers there doing well to work down the wing. That's out to Hazel. Great ball in, looking for Lawmore, who this time shoots straight into the chest of Gary Kelly. For a second he saw the whites of Kelly's eyes, but this time his shot was not angled well enough to defeat the Republic of Ireland B international. Pugh. Now Paskin. He too has to go back to go forward. He needs support as well, and the only player who was offering him it was the goalkeeper Gary Kelly. Rigby touches it through for Stant. How Bury could do with one of his strikes. He's played the ball on for himself to chase, but the goalkeeping hero for Chesterfield, Billy Stewart, comes and rescues his side once more. Well, you wouldn't think he was third choice, would you, journeyman Stewart? Marples and Beasley may be injured, but he's performed well enough, you feel, to be at least seen to have a contract next season, though he's currently on loan from Northampton. Robinson now weaves his way on the wing, but the ball is deflected now into the path of Pugh. Again, Bury's ball out of defence was not sufficient enough for them to keep possession. Though they win a free kick here for offside against Morris, it has to be dubious to say the least. 15 minutes left. Paskin nearly gets the ball. Dawes just kicks it out of touch, or into touch rather, and we will now see the first substitution from John Duncan, and it's to be Jonathan Howard who will go off. Jonathan Howard leaving the field after 75 minutes. And I've got a feeling it's Kevin Davis who has come on. The ex-18-year-old striker who was struck down by a virus this week. In fact, I'm wrong, it's Chris Parkins. And Parkins could well get in here if the ball could be played through by Lawmore. He'd made a sufficient run on the far side, Perkins rather, not Parkins. My apologies to him. Chris Perkins, a defender from Mansfield, signed on a free last summer. Obviously, the intentions of John Duncan is to seal up that defence a little more, and you cannot argue with that decision. Stanislaus gets the ball to Pugh, who's had one of his more quieter performances this afternoon. I think that Bury would have been expecting a little bit more from him. Nick Dawes now to line up a long throw. Could there be still a twist and a turn left in this tale? The ball flicked on by the Chesterfield player rather than a Bury man. Here's Lawmore, the goal scorer, gets the ball forward, but only through to Gary Kelly. Pugh. Now Hazel for Chesterfield, finds Lawmore. And Morris will also run on, but Kelly's come well out of his area to clear the ball into touch. Collects the ball with his chest and then tries to take on Lee Rogers. Once more we have another long throw from this side. Pugh will take this one as Nick Dawes has took up a more central position. Dawes now comes across to take the ball, but Pugh quickly gets the ball and throws it for a quick throw. Good play from Rigby. Now Ian Hughes, the substitute. The Stanton's done well down the far side to win the throw, and he too quickly throws the ball in for the other substitute, John Paskin. Stant again. He needs to be in the middle rather than doing all the donkey work and getting the ball into the box, you would feel. But somebody has got to work some magic for Bury, and you cannot argue with Phil Stant, who has worked his little socks off this afternoon. Hughes touches the ball down for Woodward, and there's Stant again out on the far right hand side. That looks as if Chris Perkins has conceded the throw, or the corner rather. Bury's 12th of the afternoon, but only their first of the second half. 10 minutes left on the clock. Bury need to provide a late show. And if you look at their peak scoring times, it's always inside the last 10 minutes when they get their goals. And there goes a great header out of nowhere from Michael Jackson. Jackson coming through the pack to try and head the ball for the top right-hand corner. Unfortunately, it was a foot or so to the right, but Stewart was stranded. Quickly launches Bury forward again. Paskin with a touch on. Carr was the man to clear. Hazel was the man there doing ever so well to get the ball to Curtis. Lawmore, the goal scorer, on to Morris now, who will just take the ball into the corner and soak up another few more seconds of the clock. Hewitt, back to Morris again, who wins the throw off Lecchetti. Bury do have a habit of scoring late. 9 times, or 11 times rather, they've scored in the last 9 minutes. Last 10 minutes rather. They need something now though. And if you look at the conceding time, the most prolific one of Chesterfield, they 6 times this season have conceded goals inside the last 10 minutes, so maybe there's something still left in the facts and figures for Bury to resurrect this playoff bid. But the way the match has gone so far, it would be a strange turn if that was to be the case. Dawes rises as well. Here's Pugh. Stamp tries to go through Laws again, and then it's seemingly showed a chance by Dan Carr. Mr. Alcock had a good look at it and was in a perfect position and walked away without giving any signal of a penalty. Lecchetti. Now to Hughes. Woodward is there as well. Good header from Hughes. An advantage maybe should have been played as Paskin had room then to move forward. Mr. Alcock bringing Bury back then for the free kick. Everybody forward bar Tony, or rather Gary Kelly, as Woodward knocks the ball in. It's going to go straight to Billy Stewart though, who will be a challenger for the Man of the Match award. Stewart brought on loan from Northampton, a journeyman goalkeeper who's played for Wigan, Chester and was an apprentice at Liverpool. His last match was way back in March when he played against Wigan, March the 18th. A few statos out there. Since then he's had to sit back and watch from the bench, but today he's had a starring role and produced splendid saves from players such like as Stan Carter and Lecchetti. Another substitution now coming for Chesterfield, and it's the goal scorer Tony Lawmore who's going off. And Kevin Davis, the 18-year-old prodigy who's had a virus this week that has seen him drop to the bench, is brought on. The top goal scorer for Chesterfield as that long throw evades Stanton, goes out of play, is brought into the action. He's been ever present this season, has Kevin Davis, and rightly he's given his few moments of glory alongside his teammates who are now surely on their way to the second division. Morris Collects the ball, keeps possession of it before half losing it over those so big legs of his. Dawes now though working the ball out for Paskin, who will run his own little socks off to try and reach that ball, and does well to keep it in play. Woodward pushing forward now as Bury go for at least some consolation to give them some hope in the last few seconds. Stant with the header on for Pugh. Pugh still with possession, gets the ball down for Stanislaus. Chip through for Stant, who again is half held by Law, but not enough for a penalty. Jackson the man to get back to head home to his keeper. 5 minutes left. The Bury dream seems near enough dead and buried. Perkins there heads the ball out of play. 2-0 for Chesterfield. Goals from long throws by Nicky Law, by Tony Lawmore after 24, and Phil Robinson on 41 seemingly have won the place in the second division for John Duncan's team. But the old saying goes, it's not over till the fat lady sings. Could we yet see a turn in this game by Mike Walsh's men? They need something spectacular. They need something, as we have been stating since the second goal went in, of instant reply. Paskin going in, and there's the man, Billy Stewart, to rise above everybody else and make another terrific save. Whatever you think about the journeyman goalkeeper Billy Stewart, and a lot of people have their opinions of him, he's had a tremendous performance. He's rolled back the years and performed superbly this afternoon. Well, a mistake there from the Ketty has let in Kevin Davis, but he half loses the ball as he took his eye off the position and the ball as it bounced in front of him. But he's got another chance now. Davis through again. This could be three. It could be his 14th of the season. Kelly makes a good save. Morris with the rebound. Kelly tips it over. The score stays at 2-0, but Chesterfield have their first corner of the second half, with seconds remaining on the watch. We are now well inside the last 180 seconds of this third division playoff final, and it should be Bury who would be wanting to be pressing in these final seconds. Instead it's Chesterfield who have the initiative. Davis with the flick on. It's Bury who need to go forward. Chesterfield now just happy to soak up the remaining seconds. Hughes, those fresh legs of his, try to get on the end of the ball. Free kick for Chesterfield there for the foul by Andy Woodward. This too will waste a couple more seconds for the Chesterfield team. Their fans seemingly cannot wait for the final whistle. They're ready to celebrate promotion, and I think you have to say that they deserve it. From 1 to 14, they have performed heroics, starting with Billy Stewart, right down to substitute Kevin Davis, who could have sailed up the fixture. Twice they're going through, the second time to be denied by Gary Kelly. Morris sensibly takes the ball to the corner flag and wins a free kick for the far by Michael Jackson. The cry of Bruno goes up, and when you look at the man who's 6'5" tall, a huge frame, you know why. One, he scored 7 goals this season, and 2, they call him Frank Bruno. He's got the possession again, Andy Morris. Andy Ward does well to reclaim possession. Rigby, an initial pass straight out of defence, but it goes into touch, and Stamp was on the ground as he'd been wrestled to the floor by Dan Carr. We're now into stoppage time that Mr. Alcock has allowed for the injuries in this second 45 minutes to the two teams. And I think it's all over by the shouting now as far as promotion is concerned. Chesterfield with a 2-goal lead Bury need miracles. Rigby can't control the ball sufficiently enough to keep possession. And now we are just waiting for Mr. Alcock to lift the whistle to his lips and signal the end of this fixture. Rigby knocking the ball on. Stant there inside the box, cleared by Curtis. Very need to get the ball immediately back in. They've won a free kick. We're now at least a minute into injury time. Stanislaus being told to play the free kick from a different position than he thought. In goes the ball again. Stant trying to flick it on. Again, the blue shirts are the winners inside the Chesterfield penalty box. Stanislaus squares the ball to Rigby. Woodward gives it back to Rigby, who must fancy his chances here with a shot, but it's always from that sort of range going to go over rather than in. Bury 0, Chesterfield 2. Looks as if that is going to be the final scoreline from this Division 3 Ensley League playoff final. The Bury fans starting to slip away, though the majority, 4/5 of them at least, are still inside Wembley Stadium. Kevin Davis knocks the ball on for Hazel to chase. Stanislaus is there and wins the throw. There is the final whistle from Mr. Alcock. It's all over. Chesterfield are promoted to the second division. 2-0 they win. They celebrate. The Bury players, they're on their knees, they're on the ground of Wembley. You look at players such as Nicky Dawes, Michael Jackson, Phil Stant, as well as all his comrades, and you have to feel for them. But Chesterfield on the day were the better team. They scored 2 goals, both in the first half. Tony Lawmore, after a long throw by Nicky Law, stabbed the ball home after 24 minutes. Then the second goal came from Phil Robinson from another long throw by Nicky Law. This time a free header. Again, the defence must be blamed. And despite the opportunities that fell the way of Lucchetti and Stant, and even Pugh, Stewart in the goal for Chesterfield held firm, producing some wonderful saves. And even in the second half, when Rigby defeated him from a free kick, the woodwork came to Chesterfield's rescue. It was not to be at Bury's day. Jackson had the last opportunity with 10 minutes to go when he headed wide from Bury's 12th corner of the match. Their supporters rightly giving their side full reward for a committed performance. They tried and tried and tried again without reward. But at the end of the day, it is Chesterfield who will go into Division 2. We said before the kick-off that it was not a day to be a loser, but even the losers there, Bury, are being given a tremendous reception by their supporters. Wonderful support. The majority, I think nearly all of them, have stayed to signal their praise to their team, and they are cheering their names, and rightly so. For 44 games to end in this way is harsh and severe, to say the least, but that is the way things are, and you have to live by it. Chesterfield, who will feel that they rightly should have gone up after finishing third, a point ahead of Bury, do get some just reward in the playoffs that can be so cruel at times. They will be in the second division next season. Bury will try again in the third, and Mike Walsh will be the manager, as he's already been announced as the new man for next season. Congratulations to Chesterfield and John Duncan. Duncan in his second spell since re-arriving in 1993. The 46-year-old Scot having one of the days of his managerial career. As for Mike Walsh, it's not third time lucky, but he can be proud of his team. They gave the all and were just unfortunate that the ball didn't bounce their way this afternoon. Chesterfield getting ready to go up and collect their reward for winning this match by 2-0. They will be presented with a trophy and mementos by Mike Naylor, the managing director of Ensley Insurance, who was presented to the teams prior to kick-off. The club captain Nicky Law, who's had a splendid afternoon, will go up to collect that reward. As the Bury fans sit and watch and wonder just when it will be their turn to get back to Wembley. It's took them 110 years to come to the Twin Towers. Let's hope it won't take as long to return. Bury, who came into the match the form team, unbeaten in 13 matches. Chesterfield, who lost their last 3 fixtures, though, are the ones who come out celebrating. And up goes Nicky Law to collect the trophy. They finished third, and if there's any justice in the world, you would have given them the playoff success and victory, and the champagne and the night will be theirs. Nicky Law there with the trophy, and the Bury fans, you have to say, a splendid reaction to what has happened by them. They're giving their all, they're singing their all, despite the result in the defeat. (1994-95) Ensley League Third Division playoff winners are Chesterfield United, managed by John Duncan. They succeed thanks to 2 first-half goals due to Tony Lormer's toe poke and Phil Robinson's header from Nicky Law's long throws, that sees them succeed by 2-0. The side that finished 4th in the table, that had the second best defensive record, the third best scoring record, a 13-match unbeaten streak, will go up now to get at least some consolation from this fixture and their trip to the Twin Towers. But they will be playing third division football next season. Hopefully they will be able to go automatically up to the second next time round. Final score here at Wembley: Chesterfield United 2, Bury 0.